So hello from South India. That's right, I'm in Chennai right now, Tamil Nadu, South India on the east coast, and I've just been in that temple behind me for the last 2 hours. The peace and energy in there is phenomenal. A lot of you probably don't even know that I'm here in India, but I am, and the reason for coming on this trip is it's manifold for me. It's a lot of it is spiritual, and it's purely because of what's happened to me over the last 6 weeks. 7 weeks ago, I had an amazing, experience that I haven't even really shared on social media or a lot of people. I've shared it with close friends and family. So, being in a country, crazy, chaotic country all by myself here, feeling very vulnerable, I may as well go even more vulnerable and explain to you guys what happened to me. I applied principles after reading the book The Power of the Now by Eckhart Tolle, and specifically practicing the power of the now, which gets more into the practical side of it. So when I first read the book in Vanuatu, or the first chapter, I had, I guess you would call it, an aha moment, that a lot of people seem to call it. And it was where I realized that the answer to life was right in front of me this whole time. And it always is, it's right in front of all of us, but we don't see it. And that really is being present. It's much more than that, but that is the beginning of it. And once you switch off from this chaotic computer, if you like, and take it in your control, life becomes phenomenal. And I experienced this firsthand when I applied the techniques and the principles in the book The Power of the Now. Really disciplining my mind to, stay calm, accepting all the thoughts, almost observing thoughts from a third-person perspective, not associating myself, or trying not to associate myself as my mind and my body, but something more than that, and a deeper awareness that sits behind that. And once I did this, after about 2.5 months, I had an experience where I was, as I was driving, and I was quite upset at the time about my recent breakup, and I just let all the emotion out, and I started laughing and crying at the same time. And it's a really weird experience. I don't know if anyone has ever if any of you have ever experienced that, but I have never experienced anything like that in my life. And it was just like the biggest release of emotion that you could ever release. And since that moment, I have been, set free from my addictions. I simply don't depend on any alcohol and drugs and cigarettes anymore. All those things I used to do on a daily basis. A lot of people don't know that about me, but I was an alcoholic. I was drinking every single day, at least, 3 to 6 beers a night, for the last 2 years, and I was able to just kick it like that. And as well as the cigarettes, and as well as the weed. I was also smoking weed every day, so I don't have a dependence on it anymore. And I've also been able to work out every single day for the last, well, not every single day, 5 to 6 days a week I've been working out for the last 6 weeks. And this was something that I was never able to do. The longest time I was ever able to work out for was maybe like a month at a time. And it was only like 3 or 4 days a week. So I have so much energy. I have more energy than I have ever had in my life. I only need a few hours sleep, yet I am super energetic. I had a lot of digestive problems within myself, which I won't go into too much, but let's just say that my digestive system is amazing right now. And this is the reason I came to India. It's the reason I came on this trip, because unlike every other culture that tells you what to believe and says, follow these rules and do this and do that, and a whole lot of limitation, India is one of those countries that say, what do you believe? It's all about seeking truth and finding truth rather than assuming that you know truth. So it's a different attitude. And yeah, I mean, I've experienced firsthand that not all the Indian people are like this. A lot of them are, they don't look after their country. Like yesterday, I saw someone just dump a plastic bag into the ocean. I actually filmed it. I'll link the video on the end of this. I'll join it together. But just no respect for the ocean and no respect for the beautiful earth that they have. I mean, there's rubbish everywhere. So it's definitely not a perfect country. It has got a long way to go. However, the culture and the attitude behind the spiritual seeking culture is phenomenal, more profound than anything I've experienced, because like I said, they don't tell you, for example, in Hinduism specifically, they don't tell you, a set of rules or things that you must do. It's all about seeking and finding that truth for yourself. And, that's what, I guess yoga is intertwined in that as well. Yoga means union, so creating union between your mind, your spirit, your mind, your physical body, your emotional body, and your spiritual body. So, yeah, stay tuned, guys. I'm here for a while. I'm here till March, actually. So a good 2.5 months, and I'm visiting quite a few locations. And along the way, I'm just going to film it, and I'm going to give you guys some encouragement along the way. So for today, if there's one thing that I can challenge you about is just being grateful, because since I've been in this country and seeing the poverty and all the rubbish everywhere, even the quality of the hotels and that I'm staying in is really not great. And I'm doing this on purpose, and it's because I'm seeking discomfort. Too often we stay within our comfort zone and we don't grow, and we don't challenge ourselves to go to that next level. Like these hotels, pardon me, these hotels I'm staying in, they don't have hot water. The mattress is about that thin, so it's very hard, and they don't even give you a sheet to put over the top. This just comes with a sheet on the bed. The toilets, the toilets are okay, but they don't provide toilet paper, so there's often this little hose next to it that you got to clean yourself with. And the showers, like I said, are cold. It is an experience, and one thing that I'm finding challenging is everyone here thinks that you have money. I think just because of your skin color, they think that you're super wealthy and that you have so much money. So it's been a bit of a challenge in that regard, ensuring people don't take advantage of you. So if you are traveling to India, can I say that you need to be very careful with who you trust, and you need to be smart about how you travel, because travel can either be really expensive or quite affordable and quite cheap. So stay tuned, guys. Just be grateful. That's probably the biggest challenge, or the biggest challenge from me to you today, is to be grateful for what you have, because when you think about people in other third world countries that don't have such luxury, you know, sorry, it really makes me emotional for some reason. You know, we just take for granted what we have, and we could all be happy in a first world country. We should all be happy. Sorry, I just had a bit of a breakdown then. I'm just walking to the old temple. So that apparently is the new one, and this one over here is the old temple. Not as pretty looking, that's for sure. One other thing that I wanted to share with you as well, since this experience of mine 7 weeks ago, is I started becoming really meditative, and you know, like just wanting to meditate. You know how like says no one ever. Everyone like thinks, you know, a lot of the time meditation feels like a chore. You know what I mean? And it always has my whole life. But now it's actually the greatest joy. It's something that I actually want to do. And some days I'll spend 2 hours in meditation. I mean, not all at once. I have before, you know, in one stint, but sometimes it'll be like half an hour in the morning or something, and then an hour and a half at night, or an hour at night, or, you know, hour in the morning, hour at night sort of thing. It's not like I time it or anything. It's just, I just love it so much. I just stay in that place because I found peace in the now. I found that is the resting place. That is where you need to be. Not in here thinking about what you're going to do next, what you did yesterday, and all the worries and stress in your life. You know, you really need to calm this guy down up here, because it's what's killing you. So another thing that I realized through this 7 weeks ago, I had this profound realization, and it's nothing new because quantum physics has proven this. It's a scientific fact that if you break everything down to the atomic level, or even further than that, is we are all energy, and we're all connected, we're all joined, we're all one. And people say that, and you've probably heard that before, and you go, you have no idea what that means. Who the fuck knows what that means, Danny? But it's amazing when you realize it, because, and I mean really realize it, because the person in front of you all of a sudden is you, and you feel a connection with that person, a deeper connection. It's hard to explain, but all of a sudden you respect people more, you love people more, you have more compassion for people. Like, you know how sometimes our emotions just take over, and we just go crazy, and we get angry, and we say things that we regret. It helps you to dial that back, and really become non-reactive, so to speak. So like, you're the same. I think I've said this before in my video. Like, you're the same as you're made up of the same stuff that everything is made up of. The chair that you're sitting on, your bed, the food that you eat, you know, your earphones, your phone, your sunglasses, your clothes. You're made of exactly the same energy. It's all energy. I really hope that you guys are not getting offended by this. I mean, not that I really care. Like I've said before, I don't go out to offend people on purpose, but people just get offended way too easily. And what's right for one person is wrong for another person, even within religion. whether it be Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, Christianity in the church. People even have a different perception about the Bible. Everyone has a different interpretation. So what you believe the Bible is saying and what I believe the Bible is saying are two completely different things. And if I think that I'm right, what does that make you? And if you think that you're right, what does that make me? So, do you get that? You know, you really need to see that. And when you do realize that, it means you don't resist anymore. You don't have any resistances in life, and you really become more open to a lot of things, and you experience life, or your experience of life is much more profound, much more happy, and all of a sudden life doesn't become about pursuing happiness. It becomes about exceeding your limitations and not having any limitations. So for today, like I said, be grateful and exceed your limitations. If you notice yourself thinking, oh, I can't do that because of this, or I shouldn't be doing that because of this reason, or any of those sorts of things, if you notice yourself, I challenge you to try to just observe that thought from a third person perspective and go, oh, that's an interesting thought. Why would we be having that sort of thought? And try to exceed that limitation. Try to exceed that limitation and go beyond it, and see what happens. That bloke just dumped that plastic bag in the water. He just fucking threw it in there. Fucking Jesus.